Guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we're going to look at EX7 Mammothmon slash Titamon. It's just kind of a goofy, fun little deck that we're going to play using this purple engine that we've been going over, and then after this we'll start looking at some more mainstream EX7 decks. So, starting with our eggs. 4 copies of BT6 Tsunomon. When you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, you get to trigger draw 1. We are going to try and do that quite a bit in this deck, so this should be drawing you cards, keep your hand refilled, and help you find your pieces. 4 copies of Ignitemon. When attacking by deleting one of your other Digimon, delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon with a level less than or equal to the deleted Digimon's level. It kind of sort of comes up if you have to sack your own level 6. You can do that with Ignite because we can play out level 4 or lower, so it's not impossible for this to hit the board and then do something, but it's not very likely. What we care about more is the inheritable that says when you play a Digimon by an effect, you will gain 1 memory. We are more than likely, if we get to play the game, we're going to do that. So that inheritable is really good. And then our other rookie of choice here is Goblimon. When one of your effects trashes a card in your hand, gain 1 memory. Both of your level 6s will be doing that, so this should always gain you a memory if you make your stack. And then we have 2 copies of Psychemon. Deathxmon kind of cucks this deck. We don't want that, so playing out a Psychemon with one of our level 6 effects is totally viable. Moving to our champions, we are going 3 copies of Ogremon. It will gain us a memory if it's sitting on board, and then the inheritable will also gain us a memory when we trash a card from our hand, which is super great. We are only on 3 copies because we have kind of a funky champion split. We have 2 copies of Loogarmon from BT14. Kind of 2 reasons for this. I guess 3 reasons. So the first one, this does trash cards when attacking, and that's important because we do have Titamon in this deck. And we do want a way where our Titamon can keep doing things without us evoing into another stack, basically. And Loogarmon being able to trash a card when you swing means that Titamon can trigger again, and you can actually get security attack +1 and be really aggressive. If you have the Skullmammothmon on board, because you're trashing a card by an effect, you'll be able to play another level 4. So this is just a great enabler piece. It is also an X-antibody Digimon, so it will synergize with Proto form to an extent and help you pick up some speed in this deck. And the inheritable will also gain you a memory when you play a card with Dark Animal trait or SOC. We do have plenty of Dark Animals. We have the Dobermon X's and these BlackGatomon, so most of our level 4 suite are Dark Animals. So we do have the opportunity for this to kind of just be an extra memory gain inheritable in the same way that Dobermon X is. So this is a pretty good card in this package. 4 copies of Dobermon X. On play, you give something Retaliate. That can come up, but not usually. When Digivolving, you're going to draw 1, trash 1. Fantastic, because we are going to trigger the Tsunomon to draw an extra card. And then the inheritable will get us a memory when we play a Digimon by an effect. That's more what we care about. We're trying to either gain 2 memory from playing a Digimon by an effect or by trashing cards. Then we have 2 copies of the BlackGatomon with Rush. It's a Rush body, and it is more efficient to use than the Ginkaku promote package. I know Ginkakumon will get you a memory when you trash a card by an effect, but you still need to fit the Kinkakumon in the deck to actually get a memory and draw a card off of the promote. That 3-card package just takes up too much space, so we went with the BlackGatomon instead to make sure that we had room for the Loogarmon. If you really want to run that package because you like it, you'd go 2 promotes instead of BlackGatos, probably 2 Ginkakus instead of Lugars, and then 3 of the Ginkakus over the Ogres. I think it's worse, so that's why it's this way in this profile. 1 copy of Myotismon ACE. We play a lot of level 4s for free, so this is a way to kind of give ourselves some protection, maybe scavenge a free tamer off of your opponent swinging into that free level 4, and then because we do have Ignite, we can actually trigger the memory gain inheritable on the opponent's turn, and that can cause some problems for our opponent. Then we have 4 copies of LadyDevimon from BT3. When Digivolving, trigger draw 2, trash 2. That's going to gain us memory off of our trashing effects and help us find our pieces. And then the inheritable says when you use an opponent's option card, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. It just clears floodgates off the board, but it is kind of handy. Next, we go 3 copies of EX7 LadyDevimon X-antibody. On play, when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gains end of attack. Delete this Digimon until the end of their turn. Then if you have LadyDevimon or X-antibody, you get the fully Anzerdruken token. It's got block or retaliate, and then the inheritable says on your opponent's turn, when a Digimon is deleted, you can play a level 4 or lower Digimon card from trash without paying the cost. So we're trying to set up level 4s in trash anyways. This just says if your opponent swings and you block it with that token, you're going to get a level 4 back for free, which is great. Otherwise, if they swing and it dies, you're still going to get a level 4 back for free, which is still great. So great card. Add some speed because you can protoform into this, play Digimon out by an effect, gain more memory back through your inheritables, and you're just kind of cooking at that point, which I really like. So this is just kind of what we needed to make all of the purple jank work. 3 copies of BT6 Titamon. When digivolving, trash a card in your hand, then you can play a purple level 4 or lower Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. Fantastic. When you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, this Digimon gets 2000 DP and security attack +1 for the turn. So if you can get into this card, trash a card, play a level 4, get security attack +1, and you can keep turn, this is just a big smack in the opponent's head. It's great. We are running Alice in this deck to try and set that up and enable that. So ideally, you would be sacking that Zerdruken token with the Alice to get into this for 1. Play Digimon by an effect. If you haven't procced that inheritable already in the turn, this is for free because you get the 1 memory back. And it becomes really, really possible to smack somebody with this the same turn you digivolve into it. Then we have 4 copies of Skullmammothmon. When digivolving, draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand. All turns, once per turn, when one of your effects trashes a card in your hand, you can play a level 4 or lower purple Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. The cool thing about this is it's not when this Digimon's effect trashes a card in your hand, it's when a effect trashes a card in your hand. So this can trigger off of another stack existing, like Titamon. It can trigger off of the Loogarmon swinging, and you're going to get another free level 4 from your trash without paying the cost. Then we are using things like the LadyDevimon and the Proto form to evo back up into another stack for cheap, ideally, using Alice to get into the level 6 and start stacking up these effects from Titamon and Skullmammothmon. You get a Titamon and a Skullmammothmon on board, all of a sudden you're getting a free body, security attack +1 on the Titamon, you're swinging 3 checks a turn. It's kind of good. Granted, if you get the rush body, you get more checks. And if you get 2 Skullmammothmons, you're going to start plopping down 2 bodies a turn, which can put your opponent on a pretty fast clock. And they just have to have a removal option to answer this. Obviously, in this day and age, not the hardest to do, but the engine we've built around these boss monsters is kind of intended to help us get there fast and actually do some damage. So 2 copies of Omnimon's Zwart. We do get to our level 6s really fast in this deck. And so it's kind of a missed opportunity to not just throw down a Zwart, mill 3, you plop down 2 LadyDevimon X's, and your opponent gets on play. If you swing, you die, basically. And it can kind of deter some attacks. It's also not the worst if you plop down, like, 2 level 4s. You're going to get your inheritables, your memory gain, so this really costs 4 to evo into. And then you can threaten, like, Blastace Myotismon, or you can evo into LadyDevimon X-antibodies on the next turn. So there's kind of plays that are available with this card that don't just involve winning when you play it. Like, it kind of sets you up for your next turn. It's just kind of fun, and we have the option to get into it quickly, so why not? Then we're going to go 2 copies of Hell's Gate. I mentioned it in my Minervamon video. I think this card is really good right now. It's a 6 memory, delete a level 6 or higher. With all the level 7 Blastace and all the level 6 Blastace, this can be 1 or 2 memory to clear your opponent's stack, which is really good. So that's why we're running it in the deck. Obviously, we are susceptible to removal ourselves, so why don't we run a card that is going to spit in the face of all of our opponent's stacks and keep the turn while we do it. 4 copies of Wisdom Training Mandatory Search Package. We all know it by now. 3 copies of the Proto form. We have to have this for our LadyDevimon X's in case we don't see the LadyDevimon. Also, this is going to go back in security when your stack dies, as long as it doesn't die by one of your effects, which kind of helps us stall a bit because it's going to put pieces back in security so that we can build another stack without dying, which is cool. And then our 3 copies of Alice. This is how we are cheaply getting to our level 6s, keeping turn, swinging, getting our bodies, and then potentially making it into Zwart if we need to. So that's what I've got for this neat little Skullmammothmon Titamon deck. It is tons of fun. I don't know if it's the most competitive deck profile, but it is functional and it does what it wants to do. So I definitely recommend you give it a try. If you've never had the opportunity to play with these boss monsters and you've kind of wanted to for a while, I think this is a good kind of middle ground deck profile that you can run with your friends and have a good time with. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.